Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something absolutely crucial, UN SDG Goal 7, which is all about affordable and clean energy. You know, energy is basically the heartbeat of our world. It's what powers our schools, our hospitals, and massive industries. But here's the catch. To protect our planet, we've got to make sure this energy isn't just affordable and reliable, but also truly sustainable. So our mission today is to figure out exactly how we can provide universal access to modern energy services for absolutely everyone. Let's get into it.
Right off the bat, I want to pose a huge question to you. How do we actually power the future fairly? See, this explainer is heavily focused on what we call the energy transition and global equity. Because providing clean energy, it's not just about slapping some solar panels on a roof. It's about building modern infrastructure, totally improving how we use our energy, and making sure that absolutely no nation is left in the dark.
So here is our blueprint for today. We're going to move through 5 key steps: the energy connection, the foundation of access, the clean transition, global infrastructure support, and finally, leading the change.
All right, kicking things off with step 1, the energy connection. Let's take a look at the macro view of this goal.
Moving right along to step 2, the foundation of access, which lines up with the UN's Target 7.1.
Before we even talk about advanced green tech, we have to talk about universal access. This simply means ensuring that everyone, no matter where they happen to live, has access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. Because lacking basic electricity literally limits human potential. Think about it. Without reliable power, students can't study after the sun goes down, and hospitals can't even refrigerate life-saving medicines. Basic power is the absolute foundation of modern life.
And we are working against a very strict timeline here, 2030. The United Nations set this urgent deadline to achieve that foundational energy access and completely eradicate energy poverty. We don't have decades to just figure this out. The clock is ticking for global policymakers. Okay, that brings us to Section 3, the clean transition, which covers targets 7.2 and 7.3.
Once we actually have power, we have to focus on renewable energy. This is energy naturally replenished from sources like solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal. It's amazing because it doesn't deplete our natural resources and it doesn't emit carbon dioxide. To really combat climate change, Target 7.2 says we must substantially increase the share of renewable energy in our global energy mix, which is basically just the combination of all the different energy sources the world uses.
So this creates a really interesting two-part strategy. On one hand, we need to do more by increasing that share of renewable energy. But on the other hand, we have to use less power. Target 7.3 requires us to double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. Essentially, energy efficiency means we improve how we use energy so we waste a whole lot less of it. We've got to produce cleaner energy, but be way smarter about how we consume it.
Which brings us to Section 4, Global Infrastructure Support, looking at targets 7.A and 7.B. Now, technology and partnership are absolutely key to global equity. We need international cooperation to enhance our global partnerships. We have to share clean energy research, and crucially, we must promote investment in energy infrastructure. You know, promoting financial investment in green infrastructure is exactly how we turn academic research in a lab into physical reality on the ground.
We also really need to understand who needs this international support the most. First up are small island developing states, or SIDS. These are small, low-lying island nations in places like the Pacific or the Indian Ocean. And alongside SIDS, we absolutely must prioritize least developed countries, or LDCs. These are vulnerable nations that face some very unique economic challenges.
Target 7.B explicitly states that we must expand infrastructure and upgrade technology for supplying modern and sustainable energy services in developing countries. If we don't actively support developing nations, especially those SIDS and LDCs we just talked about, they are going to be left behind in the green revolution. And true success? Well, that requires global equity.
Finally, we reach Section 5, Leading the Change. As you can see, transitioning to clean energy is a delicate balancing act of pushing innovative technology while maintaining global justice. Transitioning to clean energy is one of the greatest challenges of our century. For those of you preparing for university or international careers right now, this isn't just some distant political policy goal. This is a defining challenge for your generation. It is going to shape the economy, international relations, and the actual health of the planet you inherit.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. As the next generation of leaders, how will you help build a world powered by clean, sustainable resources? Whether you end up choosing a career in engineering, international policy, business, or science, your actions are going to matter. Let's spark a brighter, sustainable future together. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.